girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah, ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex, dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah, ooh girl, nah nah. Fly me up with dreams, the only thing I need. When I'm down, lift me up with your company. There's no telling what you and me creating. We're on the same wavelength. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely. Never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah, ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex, dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah, ooh girl, nah nah. You're my island, tray of diamonds. Big what's fake, help me find you. You're a blessing, reminiscent of the time when I found myself guessing. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my money, make you look so lovely. Never feeling lonely. Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah, ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex, dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah, ooh girl, nah nah.
Okay. Let's try that again. Is everybody hearing me now? I think I got the screen fixed. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Thank you for coming back in the chat. All right, everyone can hear me. Fantastic. So sorry about that. I was doing a sound test earlier. Thank you everyone who came along, and it messed up with the settings. So what I might do is at the end of this podcast, I'll try and do another sound test because there were some kinks that I still didn't figure out. And or I might just do another sound test after this one. But thank you everyone for your patience. Happens sometimes, and this is why I'm going through all the trouble of doing it now, so that we don't have any hiccups come Coronation Day. Alan, do you know why it's showing up as private on my TV? I think this is the old one. I put the old one on private because I'm gonna delete that one. But thank you everyone for coming back to this one. Okay, let's get into it. Thank you so much to the mods. Thank you everyone for coming back. Right. Yeah, there was this article that came up today. Oh, and thank you, Alan Venon, for the super sticker. There was this article that came up today about Princess Diana will be the third person in Charles and Camilla's reign. And I think that's actually just a perfect way of describing this whole situation. Because people are, I think, really taking a step back and going, you know, how have we found ourselves here with Camilla so front and center? And I've said since the time that they announced her as Queen Camilla is that there was no way Lizzie would have allowed this. And it does seem like Charles has gone back on his mother's word And it's going to cost them. I really, really do think them putting Camilla front and center, Camilla putting herself front and center, is going to cost them. I didn't manage to get the photos up now, although you probably didn't want to see her face. But they were at a garden party today. Lionel Richie was there. The whole Aristo crew was there. And Camilla was actually wearing, what's his name? Bruce Oldfield. She was wearing a Bruce Oldfield and Philip Tracy hat. But her outfit was Bruce Oldfield, the designer who famously dressed Diana. And it's like she just really wants to. No one is going to tell me at this point that Camilla is not trying to really rub it in everyone's face. No one's going to convince me of that. Because of all the British designers that you could have chosen, you go for the one that Diana was most known to wear. Pure evil. And this is why whenever people say to me, like, oh, you know, you're being too harsh, like you're just being negative, and this is exactly the reason why. And like I said in yesterday's podcast, it would not surprise me at all if Camilla showed up wearing something that looked very similar to what Diana had worn in the past, or if she's, you know, wearing a piece of jewelry that Diana wore from the royal collection. Wouldn't surprise me at all. But we are all but a few days away. And yeah, most of the guests are flying in. Lionel Richie, like I said, was there. Sorry, I don't have the picture of him in his top hat, looking like the Monopoly man at the garden party. And while this is all going on, the British media and the rancid tabloid press can't help but inject some drama. This was a segment that was on Sky News today. This character from a crime drama was on Sky News today. This is a lawyer working for the Heritage Foundation talking about Harry's visa on Sky News. You're not going to tell me that someone isn't behind this. I don't know if it's Murdoch, I don't know if it's Rothermere, I don't know if it's the Palace, could be all three of them, but Sky News does not randomly give out entire segments. I'm not going to play it because it's just such a waste of all our airtime. But Sky News does not give an entire segment to a lawyer working for a major right-wing think tank to talk about Prince Harry and Prince Harry's visa if there is not someone behind this. This is ridiculous. Days away from the coronation. Once again, like they did with the Jubilee, like they did with the Queen's funeral, just making an absolute mess and circus of the whole thing instead of focusing on Charles finally getting mummy's big fluffy hat. And instead, you do this, a whole segment. What do I even say anymore? This is a waste of everybody's time. As far as I'm aware, and what several American squaddies have said to me is people's immigration details are kept private. And the fact that they're even saying, oh, we're suing the Biden administration. So assuming Trump, for example, was still president, would they be doing this also? Because somehow they're not just going after Harry, they're trying to reel President Biden into this. There's nothing else that these people have to do except for focus on Harry. I hope everyone who gave your money to the Heritage Foundation so they could work on conservative values is looking at this. And if I were you, I would pull your money out because what is this? God, that man looks strange. Anyway, in other news, a lot of coronation parties are actually being cancelled. You have this one event that was meant to be in the Braid district. They've made the difficult decision to cancel the community coronation event planned for Borough Shane on Saturday. They deeply regret the decision, but we're left with no choice. We held a memorable street party for the Platinum Jubilee of Her late Majesty the Queen, bringing over 10,000 people into the village on the day. And they go on to say the event was incredible and viewed as something to build on. So they managed to get that many people for the Queen's Jubilee, but no one, it would appear, is interested for the coronation of Charles and Camilla. And this isn't really much of a surprise because, as I've always said, I think most people were Queenists. They were not Royalists. Also, another one in Exmouth Pavilion, they have also cancelled their coronation event. They say, we clearly misjudged the level of response from the public. We sincerely apologise to those who have already bought tickets. Refunds may be obtained from the pavilion. This is another one that's been cancelled. I don't know where that one is from, the picture, but West Mersey Town Council, regrettably, as a result of a perceived low level of public support for the event as expressed by the general public, the planned Legion Field event, West Mersey, the 7th of May, has been cancelled. West Mersey Town Council wishes to mark the coronation of King Charles and is therefore presenting a special commemorative mug to every child at West Mersey School. So nobody wanted to come to the event, but you're still giving cups out. I don't think they want the cups either. But that is that. Right, to your comments before we continue. Thank you everyone for streaming back in. Annie, yes, their reign will indeed be crowded. Listen, we haven't even got to the best part of the podcast yet. You all better. I hope nobody here has stitches. Trigger warning for anybody who has stitches. Got something real juicy for you today. There's always that one crazy auntie that wants to come out and act a fool. Tamika, she will not look like Diana, so I'm not sure what she's expecting to look like. Or she's going to do everything in her power to at least try. In her mind, she looks like Diana. With our eyes, those of us that have been to Specsavers, we can see what it is. Legs, you said, anyone thinks it's funny that Ed Sheeran is available to do American Idol while Katy Perry and Lionel Richie are at the coronation, but not available to do the coronation. I didn't know that Ed Sheeran was on American Idol, but thank you for pointing that out. That is hilarious. And thank you for the super chat, Legs. And they did show up, Charles and Camilla and the cam crew, or the Wellses now, whatever they are, for rehearsals. Oh, Legs, you also said there is no there with his visa. You can't get someone's medical information and you can't get people's visa information. It's all for a story. It is all for a story. And I think it's all also to warp people's perception of what is going on with the Sussexes. It's the same nonsense with the titles. Strip them of their titles, only for the Netflix documentary to come out. And then we find out that they wanted to give back the titles anyway, but they were refused by the palace. Yes, Black Queen, Meghan and Harry derangement syndrome is extremely strong for these mediocres. Extremely strong. But who can blame them when they're being fed this? Ridiculous headlines like this from this sad little man. Dan Budget Poundland Piers Morgan Wooten. He's literally the Poundland Piers Morgan. He wants to be Piers Morgan so bad. He should look at what's happening to Piers Morgan right now. He comes up with this article claiming that Meghan breathing is stealing attention from the coronation. Well, they're just going to have to get used to it. Because, honey, if you are a star, there is nothing you can do about the fact that people would rather pay attention to you than to the King of England and the Commonwealth, as he will now be, unfortunately. I think that they have realized that all of their attempts to go after Meghan have failed. She is popular, she is liked, she is followed. Everything that she wears sells out. The chairs they were sitting on at the Oprah interview sold out. So now the narrative is now changing to Meghan stealing attention. Well, if people were interested in the other royals, there would be no attention to steal. You can't steal attention from people who nobody's interested in anyway. The whole GB News clan is just weird as hell. For something that was given so much funding, it just looks really low budget. They never have anything particularly interesting to talk about. It's always the same audience triggering conversations. And not that we can't have difficult or controversial discussions and debates and have opposing views, but I also think how you debate and how you talk about an issue really matters. And the way in which GB News and Talk TV and a lot of these mainstream channels now go about talking about things is just in a way that really lacks any amount of intellect and is just there to trigger an outrage. Dan Rutan's going to get his time. Right. Are we ready? Should we go? Okay, no. Before we go straight to the laughs, we'll go let's take one step back. So, the troops for the coronation they have been practicing. Around about 6,000 odd of them streamed into Waterloo yesterday. And I believe there's going to be in total between the guards and the police officers. I think I saw one figure that was about 12,000 officers. That is a lot of people. But they were out practicing. And the crowds who are waiting, the campers, they've also come out. Are you ready to laugh? Please, someone come and get your crazy aunties.
Rehearsal ruin your night's sleep.
It did, but at the same time I enjoy it because I've seen the history.
And it went on for 5 hours. Military bands, grenadier guards, every regiment. 5 solid hours of marching.
With security and the rehearsal in place, the only worry now is that rain could spoil the parade. Rex Martin.
Yeah, so it's given me the same vibes as the lines at the Queen's funeral. It's given me these vibes, right? You are not going to tell me that a couple of these people aren't being paid. So when the lines for the Queen's funeral first started, this was one of the first pictures that came out. A black lady wrapped in a Union Jack, a Welsh lady with a Welsh flag, and our Asian auntie here with her Tesco's bag. They all just happen to be together, waiting for the Queen's line to see her lying in state. And again, for the coronation, there just happens to be this black woman camping out with a huge Union Jack around her, with the Welsh flag behind her. With nobody else in the fam, apparently. Nobody else in the fam wanted to come with auntie to camp out. And then you had this other lady who was complaining that it was 5 hours. It just went on and on. I mean, isn't that what you came for? Like, she was saying it like it was so painful. You're not going to tell me that some of these people aren't paid. Because ain't no way. It is right now. Let me just check the weather. Ain't no way. Unless you're telling me that they're going home, they're showering, or they just left their stuff there. Let me check the weather in London right now. So it's 12 degrees. So it's going to go to 20 tomorrow. Then it'll be 18 on Friday, but raining. 17 on Saturday, but raining. And these people are camping out there.
Rehearsal ruin your night's sleep.
It did, but at the same time I enjoy it because I've seen the history.
And it went on for 5 hours. Military bands, Grenadier Guards, every regiment. 5 solid hours of marching.
With security and the rehearsal in place, the only worry now is that rain could spoil the parade. Rexma.
Oh my God. Somebody please come and get your auntie. Oh. Outside of perspective. So it was cancelled because people were not interested. Yeah. In those areas anyway. What a great way to protest, you said, Sandra. I don't even know if it's protest, rather just indifference. Like they just don't care. Because mind you, those particular areas are quite conservative. True Dilly. I would take the cup and dash it in the bin. Oh dear. Hang on a sec, folks. I'm trying to get through your comments. Yeah, Valerie. Jesus preserve us from this foolishness. Did you see how white her Nikes were? Were they Nikes or Adidas? Let me play it again.
Rehearsal ruin your night's sleep.
It did, but at the same time I enjoy it because I've seen the history.
And it went on for 5 hours. Military bands, Grenadier Guards, every regiment. 5 solid hours of marching.
With security and the rehearsal in place, the only worry now is that rain could spoil the parade. Rexma.
Yeah, come on. Why do they look like cast members from Les Miserables? Also, did you notice that she said, so they'd been there all night. She doesn't look like she's been sleeping there all night. Neither does the other woman. Her makeup was pretty fresh, both of them. Ain't no way they were there at night. What type of foolishness? No, so the woman in the video and the women on the screen now, they're two different groups of people. So the people that you can see on the screen now, these were from the people who are lining up to the Queen's funeral. The people in the video are the ones who are supposedly camping out outside Buckingham Palace now. Are there any squaddies that are actually in London that can just go down there and just see for us? Take some video, see what the press are doing. If I was in London, the same way I did it with the Queen's funeral, I would have gone down myself. Just to see, is the narrative that's on the mainstream media actually what's going on down there? So if there's anyone who, if you're floating around that area of London, or if you just want to go down and have a look for us, please do. Send me pictures, send me videos. Oi. Jesus Christ. Yeah, she's seen the history. Wrapped in a Union Jack. The only time you're gonna see me wrapped in a Union Jack is like if I'm at a sports event. Not at no coronation. You'll see me in a Union Jack at the Invictus Games. Not at the coronation. Absolutely no. I will come out for my athletes, but not for no adulterer king. Rochelle, Annie needs to get your 2 aunties. None of these women are my auntie. Oh my goodness. Goodness, if that a black woman was my aunt, I would have disowned her. Oh. Kathy G, she sounds like the neighbor from Bewitched. Oh my god. Outside of I mean, they do actually look very similar, but they're two completely different groups of people. I think they're not the same people. They're not. Oh my gosh. Janet, pay PR. I think so. Yeah, and I want to see a close up of the bags under their eyes because they don't look like they slept there all night. Her clothes were clean. Her face was still makeup, and the other lady as well. Let's just watch it one more time.
Rehearsal ruin your night's sleep.
It did, but at the same time I enjoy it because I've seen the history.
And it went on for 5 hours. military bands, grenadier guards, every regiment. 5 solid hours of marching.
With security and the rehearsal in place, the only worry now is that rain could spoil the parade. Rex Martin.
Okay, so some of you are saying it's the same lady. Do you think it is? I feel like they're two different people. I feel like the lady, so the lady in the middle, the Welsh lady, I feel like she's a little bit older than the other lady. Also, if you notice, the second lady, the blonde one, she had a full face of makeup on. It didn't look like she'd slept there all night. Oh, Drift Dilly said it's the same 3 women. I'm telling you, they just put on a bit of COVID weight. I don't know. Nini, I'm feeling sad right now. Dana should have won. I feel like Dana has won. Yeah, Miss P talks. That's another thing. She doesn't really sound Welsh, does she? She sounds more English than Welsh. Yeah, and with a pearl choke. Oh, yes, Black Queen. Wells does not support that mess. In fact, and this is another reason why I think that these are paid actors with all them Welsh flags all over the place because of this. Now that we've had a good laugh, there is a change.org petition going around to end the Prince of Wales titles out of respect for Wales. And there is also growing republicanism in Scotland and Wales. I think people are starting to realize that it's an establishment, a hierarchy that we here in Wales don't belong to, one Welsh Republican said. So it doesn't surprise me that you're seeing all of this. Yeah, Kim, how much do you think that they were paid? How much do you think that they were paid? Because, yeah, it's all cap. It is all cap. Chinese. I look like the same people. I'm not sure, folks. Okay, I'll let you debate that in the comment section. But let's get on to the next thing regarding the Coronation. Right, there is a story that came out that I'm not going to play the video because I don't know if copyright will strike me. But there was a man, allegedly, a man who had a, I'm going to say a boom boom because I don't know what the censors will do, a boom boom, and he took the cartridges out of the boom boom and he was throwing the cartridges. So he didn't pull the trigger on the boom boom. He threw the cartridges, allegedly, from the boom boom. And then he also had a mysterious plastic bag, which is how it was described as. And then the police also did a controlled explosion. So the way that the media has been reporting this story, it just hasn't made any sense whatsoever. Because say somebody had a boom boom and they were just throwing the cartridges, how is that then linked to the controlled explosion? So did this individual also have another separate device? And that's what the controlled explosion was? Even more mysteriously, GB News was actually running live while this was going on, Jacob Rees-Mogg and somebody else, and you can hear the boom noise in the background. Just so happened when they were live that this happened. And so there's all types of weird mystery surrounding exactly went on. What's even more weird is if you actually watch the footage of this, the man is like almost moonwalking back into the a police car. He's being arrested in that picture. And there's no real details about who this man is, what his motives were. And this is all just coming out days before the coronation. So I have 2 theories about this. Theory number 1, that this may just be a very crazy Republican wannabe Guy Fawkes who thought that he could try something crazy. Or this is some kind of planned stunt, either because they want an excuse to tighten security, or they're trying to find a way to just get attention to the coronation. I don't know, but it's just all very weird and suspicious to me. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Not that I didn't expect maybe someone to try something, because there are some pretty hardline, a little bit cray cray, would actually want to do something, Republicans, and there have been incidences of this nature in the past. But yeah, all very weird. Yeah, Puma Rose, why are they walking him backwards? I don't understand. And also, I couldn't find any footage that showed whether he was behind the gate or he just got to the front of the gate. Oh, very weird. Outsider, you think that this guy was planted by the palace so they could sense the protesters? It's a theory that people have been putting out there, and also to garner sympathy. Also, Sussex Love, he supposedly had a bag, or maybe there was something in the bag, but they haven't really explained. Okay, so if they did a controlled explosion and he actually had an explosive, um, they should definitely give us more details about that, because that is quite scary. If he actually managed to get an explosive that close to the palace, to the point where they had to do a controlled explosion. And the pick on the palm looks like a musketeer. Now that's somebody with the Guy Fawkes mask. But it definitely gives them room to sense the protesters, right? Lewis, you said, I think this was planned to tighten security. They were calm when handling him. Well, I saw a Sky News report earlier today where they were talking about all of the hundreds, sorry, not even hundreds, the thousands of police officers that they were going to have out, different regiments and police forces all over the place. And they're also looking at introducing facial recognition cameras also. John, you said, I think the hardliners are sitting back and letting the royal stuff explode. Yeah, honestly, at this point, if you are a hardline Republican, there's really nothing that you have to do other than sit back and eat your popcorn. Nini, have they released his name or face? Not yet. Not yet. Right. But with that, yes, a public order bill has received a royal assent from Charles. Those intent on causing disruption with guerrilla protest tactics and other criminally disruptive acts will now be met with the appropriate penalties. And so anti-monarchists have also received a Home Office letter on new protest laws. So let me just actually find this article to see what other details I've put in this. Because I saw sorry, what are their names now? The Republican group, the Not My King folks. I saw that them respond to this on Twitter, and they said that they will still be protesting. So I just want to see if we can get more details on what police powers they actually have to stop protesters. So Home Office claims timing of new powers taking effects days before the King's coronation is coincidental. So this is what the Home Office are saying. It's coincidental, folks. It's coincidental. We're definitely not trying to stop you from protesting the coronation. Official warning letters have been sent to anti-monarchists planning peaceful protests at King Charles's coronation, saying that new criminal offences to prevent disruption have been rushed into law. So much for democracy. Using tactics described by lawyers as intimidatory, the Home Office Police Powers Unit wrote to the campaign group Republic saying new powers have been brought forward to prevent disruption. The new law, given royal assent by Charles on Tuesday, means that from Wednesday, protesters who block roads, airports, and railways could face 12 months behind bars. Anyone locking onto others, objects, or buildings could go to prison for 6 months and face an unlimited fine. Police will be able to head off disruption by stopping and searching protesters if they suspect they are setting out to cause chaos. The Home Office says, I would be grateful if you could publicize and forward this letter to your members who are likely to be affected by these legislative changes, says the Home Office letter, which lists the creation of a number of new criminal offences under the government's much criticised public order bill. Graham Smith, the campaign's group chief executive, described the letter as very odd and said the group was seeking assurances from the police that nothing had changed in relation to its plans to protest on Coronation Day. Lawyers who we have been in touch with, he said, agree it sounds like intimidation, and we are currently waiting for assurances from police that nothing has changed. I mean, I don't see how you can stop people's right to peaceful public assembly. I think this really just comes down to them trying to intimidate, because they don't want those big yellow "Not My King" signs to be seen on the cameras. They don't want people showing up in Diana masks and Diana t-shirts. They want their pomp and pageantry without any disturbances. And so the fact that they have rushed this in so quickly says to me that perhaps they really did not expect the pushback that they are getting. And now we're at the nth hour and they're going, oh no. Because usually, actually, I have to say, with the Jubilee and even with the funeral, maybe not the numbers that they wanted, but people did still show up despite everything. And I think there is a little bit more pushback to Charles's coronation than what we've maybe seen with the other events. And they are nervous. So, maybe that's why we're seeing all of this. But the idea that this is just a coincidence, please. Thank you so much, Black Queen. Yes, thumbs up, please. Woods, you said, did the guy throw shotgun cartridges across the gate and they did the controlled explosion as a protocol? Maybe. Pamela, this may be the excuse for the expensive security expenses. Well, over 150 million. And I honestly think it's got to be more. Because, to my understanding, they still have to do a tour of the 4 nations after all of this is done. So Charles can go see all of his people as the new king. Joe Boggs, you said, I kept telling folks, this was coming when I saw how the anti-protest bill was secretly rushed through Parliament back doors. Yeah. And it's like they're just rushing through bills now without debating them, without consultation with the public. Oh, I don't know what's happening, folks. Yeah, I think they did force these measures, Joe, because they knew that many were not happy with Fred and Gladys being on the throne. I saw someone call Camilla Chinchilla today, and I think I laughed for about 10 minutes. Just sat there laughing with myself at somebody calling Camilla Chinchilla. Right. Was there anything else that I needed to go through? Well, actually, yes, this. So when this was tweeted on the Sky News Twitter page, the reactions were interesting. So someone said, was the explosion on Charles's fountain pen? Somebody else said, was he sweating? Somebody else said, was Harry in town then? And somebody else saying, you're a bit late with the news. And then what's even more interesting is that Sky News, if you noticed, they've actually switched off comments on this story. So the people in the comment section seem not to care about this at all. Seem not to care that there was an explosion outside of Buckingham Palace. And then Sky News cut off the comments. I thought that was strange. That's not something they usually do. And why would they do that? Well, of course, some idiot just had to. Oh, they had to. They couldn't help themselves, could they? They just had to insert Meghan in there. Can't help themselves. Our girl lives rent-free in their heads. And I'm telling you, this is how I know that these people are absolutely livid that Meghan's not showing up. They wanted so bad for her to come and to use her as just a canvas for their vile attacks. And she said, no, I am protecting my peace. You can go have your circus without me. I will be with my babies. You can go enjoy your beans on toast. And I will be having properly spiced chicken with a side of potato salad. Thank you very much. And with that, I am done for today. Thank you so much, folks. I will end with your comments, and then I am going to try just one more time if y'all can stick around and help me out. I will try one more time to do a sound test. So if a couple of people can just come in the chat, please. I will post the link. Just come up so you can help me do the sound test. You don't really have to like say anything, just hi, hello, just so I can test it. Because I want it to be perfect for Saturday. And like I said, you know, I know that a lot of people aren't interested in the coronation, but some people are. So if you want to come and watch it and be part of the live stream on Saturday, then I am creating a safe space for those people that want to watch it, whether they're genuinely interested in watching it, whether you just want to sip some tea and eat some popcorn because you hope that a horse is going to get spooked by the ghost of Diana, whatever your reasoning, I'm creating a safe space for anyone who wants to come and watch on the day. So please, if you're not interested, please don't complain about it in the comment section. Just don't come. You can come to the after show instead, where I'll be doing the roundup, and then of course we will resume back to normal royal news afterwards. Okay, thank you, Chief Dilly, because everyone was taking the pee. Yeah, nobody was taking it seriously. And what does that say? Nobody was taking it seriously. Yeah, Meghan will not be used. She said absolutely nope. Puma, and this is not going to stop the coronation. This is to set a precedent for future protests to come. Things are going to get worse. They know what's coming. Yeah. I mean, they are looking at everything that's happened in the lead up to the coronation. Charles getting egged all over the place. And they're going, what are we going to do afterwards? Okay, let's have a test. Please, if there's anyone else that just wants to come up and help me, there's the link. Right, Valerie, thank you. Actually, before I do the test, Valerie, is there anything else that you wanted to say? You want to get off your chest?
Yes. Yes. This is crazy, pure craziness and madness. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This is, yeah, my daughter's talking to me. This is just, I've never said such foolishness in all my born days. And to be honest, I'm not going to look at it. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna talk to you on the thing, but I'm not gonna be looking at it. And yes, I'm gonna see the highlights because I just feel like, you know, what he's doing. I mean, okay. I mean, fair enough. He has to be crowned. I don't have a problem with him being crowned, but the anointing, all that, you know what I mean? That is just. And the sad thing about it is, if you read in first Samuel, God never wanted us to have kings in the first place because he said they're going to end up like, and look at, he probably saw a person like Prince Charles. Oh gosh. And Camilla, Lord have mercy. I just can't. I just feel I'm living in a parallel universe, and I feel one day I'm going to wake up. You know, if it could happen, like for instance, you know, like this, when is it? The day can pass, and you know, oh, he's crying. You didn't see anything.
Mhm.
Oh God.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Okay,
Oh,
let me have a bit of a tinker around, folks. Just give me a sec.
okay, my
Uh
Lord.
let's have a look at
She's so
edit
ugly, this
layout.
woman.
Okay, so what I'm trying to figure out is Valerie, are you still talking?
Yes. No, I just look. I saw the picture of Camilla. So she's so ugly, this woman.
Right, so this is the problem that I'm having is that I can't seem to hear anyone when. Let's have a look. Move add to stream. Maybe if we have 5 people.
Oh, God, have
Horizontal
mercy.
layout, fit layout. Can everyone try speaking? I think you're all actually added.
Yes.
The
I
problem
agree
is, for
very much
whatever
with you
reason,
there.
let me try and open it on my phone. For whatever reason, I cannot hear you.
Hi, Alex. Joe, can you hear me?
Oh, okay, Joe, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Laverne. Can you hear me?
Hi, it's
Okay, so
Karen.
I can hear Joe. Karen? Karen, are you
Yes.
speaking?
Yes, I am. Can you
Can
hear
you hear
me?
Laverne?
Valerie, are
I
you
can hear you,
speaking?
Karen.
Yes.
Yes, I
You
can
can
hear
you can
you.
hear Karen.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can
Can
you
you hear
guys
me?
hear me? This is Laverne.
So why? So you can all kind of hear each other, but I can't hear you. Is that what's going on?
Sounds
Yes.
Seems
like it,
so.
yeah.
Yes.
Seems
Okay,
so.
let's try and figure out why. I need to figure out why is it that I can't seem to hear you all. Let's try with the audio.
Yeah. And I do agree with what the First Lady said in regards to watching the coronation and the anointments.
Okay, I just did an audio test, and that
It's kind
seemed
of
to work in my ears.
it's kind
Audio
of hard to
avatars.
see that. You know, it
Oh,
really is.
wait.
Yeah.
Hello.
Can you hear?
Is there?
Hi, can you hear?
you?
Are you able to
Oh
hear?
yes! I think I figured it
I'm
out.
here.
Yes,
Good.
we
Yay.
did it.
Wonderful,
Fantastic.
wonderful, wonderful.
Oh, fantastic.
I
Okay,
guess you had to show it all up on the screen.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was something to do with like the audio avatars. Okay, okay. So now I've actually figured out how to add several people's audios all
Okay.
at once.
Perfect.
Okay, so on Coronation Day, when we're
Mhm.
like bored and anyone just wants to come up and have a group conversation and group chat, then we
Mhm.
can do that. Okay, okay,
Okay.
lovely. Okay, now that we're
Perfect.
just like now that we're all in the chat, okay, I guess I'll go down the line. Karen, did you have anything to say before we log off?
Yeah, I agree with the First Lady what she was saying in regards to watching the coronation and how hard it's going to be in terms of the anointing and stuff. You know, that's the part I'm having a lot of trouble with as well too. I'm having a
Yeah.
lot of trouble with the whole thing because as far as I'm concerned, it should have just been a private thing. You go into the church, do your stuff, and that's it. You know, you didn't need to have all this pampas and everything going on.
No.
I just think it's just a private thing. And to know how the two of them come about, being where they are, especially Camilla, I'm just really having a hard time dealing with this because this is something that women around the world deal with. This, adultery and abusive behavior, and it's just, I'm just having a really hard time, and especially if you had gone through something like this, it just, I'm just having a really hard time with it. And to know that, this person, this is the reward for someone like this. I'm having a hard time with it. My mom was saying to me yesterday, she says she can't understand this man left a young, beautiful woman to be with, this old woman. My mom is 80-something years old, and she's like, she can't understand it. She's like, and I don't think any of us can understand it, but and you were talking about yesterday they're bringing out this documentary or book or whatever in regards to and they have in front there about Diana stepped out to the marriage and had an affair. Um, he came out and he put that out when he had that interview. He was trying to cover himself by putting that out. And every time I hear that, all I hear, it's like a kindergarten. Okay? All I hear is a kindergarten, even worse than a kindergarten person, okay, child that came out and saying this. You know what I'm saying? It's you're blaming her for something that you've been doing all the time because you're hiding from accepting the truth of what you were doing. And you're coming up blaming this woman and want this stain to be on this woman. And on top of that, even if she came out before, why shouldn't she? This is a young, energetic woman, gorgeous woman that every man around the world is watching and want to be with. And here she is with a husband who doesn't even know how to be with her. He can't even handle being with her. He had to go and settle for what is easy because Diana is demanding that he be a man. She wanted a man and she's demanding that he be a man, okay, and know how to look after a wife and be a husband and a man to a woman. And he did not know how to do that. So he ran, okay, for cover where he don't have to do that because he already have somebody who is doing it for him. And that's the bottom line. She wanted a man and he couldn't perform. He couldn't do that for her because he don't know how to stand up and do that and take care of somebody else. He got
Well, I
for
mean,
somebody to take care of him. It's ridiculous.
given the institution that I think Charles was raised in and how they're emotionally stunted, I just don't think that was ever destined to be. But thank you, Karen. You can say that if you want, but I just want to go down the
Yeah.
line and give everyone a
Go
chance.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Zoe, are you there? Okay, we'll come back to Zoe. Joe,
Let's make this
Joe,
thing
go
work.
ahead.
Hi, Anne. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, squaddies. I've been giving this a lot of thought because I've always followed Diana, and my opinion on the situation is when you see somebody projecting, it's not about you, it's about them and their lack. Diana came into this situation because she fell in love with this man and she wanted a husband. Charles needed a mother figure.
Yes.
And that's what the attraction has been all along with this woman. And not that I'm making excuses for him. I can see why he would have fallen in love with her because they had similar interests and she was providing that motherly figure. And I've said this before and I will say it again, and I'm watching it playing out.
I never get tired of telling. So people keep asking me if
Camilla
I'm
is the one wearing the trousers. Camilla is the one wearing she's wearing the trousers. She's controlling this whole thing.
Yeah.
And he is going to live to regret it. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what he says. And we must not allow ourselves to be hoodwinked into thinking it's going to detract from Diana. Diana has already set her legacy in stone. I wasn't actually going to watch it, but I think I will, because I think for me, this is something I have to see to believe. It's not going to be smooth sailing. There's a lot's going to come on the back of this, and people are only going to realize once, no pun intended, once the horse has bolted from the cart on Saturday. People are really going to see the truth about what's going on. I think I've learned a lot over the years, and this whole reaction, it's not even a response, this whole reaction to Harry is because for the first time we're seeing a man in this family who has married for love. They don't know what to do because they
Oh, I think did Joe's sound go off there? But you're making a very good point, and I 100% agree with you. Okay, we'll come back to Joe. Is it Laverne?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you, dear?
Good, very good. I only have
Thanks for
something
joining.
very short to say. I will
Go for it.
continue to pray for all the squatties that have been under the weather and not feeling well, because I know how that is, and I'm glad that Church Nelly is back. I will be listening. I live in the Washington, D.C. area, so kind of like we're not interested, but I will be watching and learning. Um, it's it's betrayal at its best.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for Meghan, and I'm so happy for Harry. Well, I should say Prince and Princess and their family. We adore them here. My daughter, I was listening to your podcast, and she said, "Mom, you're so into it. What are you listening to?" So I let her listen. And she was like, "Mom, she is such a beautiful woman. I don't understand why they hate her, but she's such
Mm,
a beautiful woman inside and out." So I will
mm.
continue to keep all the squatties in prayer. That's what I love to do. And that's all I have to say.
Oh, thank you so much for calling it. Can I ask what part of the US you're from?
I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I was born in 54, so I'm an oldie.
All right.
So I was there during Martin Luther King and the whole march and Trump.
Wow.
I've been through a lot with Washington,
Wow.
D.C. I'm from there, so
Wow.
we've seen a lot here, but we
Mhm.
adore them here. So many of
Mm,
us do.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for supporting. Thank you.
You
All
too.
right.
Have a blessed day. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, you too. All right, Debbie B.
Hi, I just want to say first, I think you do an amazing job to do this every day
Oh,
and to
thank
organize
you.
it. And it is wonderful. I'm from Philadelphia or just outside of Philadelphia. And I
Nice.
agree with the last caller. We do love them here. And I think I just want to note what, how welcoming America has been to Harry.
Mm,
Despite everything that's happened with England, no one looks at, it, he's just been welcomed with open arms, and they both have. And it's just so good to see them on the other side of it was pure hell when they were there. And they both are thriving. They're not just, surviving, they're thriving. And it's been an inspiring story, and it continues. And it's still amazing to me that they just won't stop, and they picked the wrong horse. They chased them out of the country, and now they're
mhm.
mad. And I think Charles is
Yeah.
gonna pay a price moving forward because what do they have now? Nothing to talk about. Nothing, there's no coronation. So it'll be interesting to see whether the stories start coming out about the Cambridges or Charles or how, but they have to make money. And the only one
Mhm.
other thing I wanted to say was it's interesting also, Meghan has hurt them financially, and so has Harry. But Rupert Murdoch has
Mm,
also been really hurt in the US with the Dominion suit. And, they may
mm,
really be a force for change with how they have to deal with, um, you know, uh, how the tabloids now are starting to hurt financially from their actions that were literally unchecked for 30 years. So we'll see. But that's it. Thank you. And thank you again. And I love your hair. Oh my God, it's
Oh,
gorgeous.
thank you.
I've talked to other
Thank you so
people.
much for your support.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. I couldn't do it without all of you. Really do appreciate you all. Okay, Joe, you cut off. You were making a really good point, and then you cut off there. Hello? Hey, Joe? Joe, you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're making a really good point, and then you cut off.
Oh, sorry, my internet just dropped out. Yeah, so like we know, everybody knows, they can see what it's about. He wanted a mother figure, and that's what she's always provided. I think she's going to rule the roost with a very heavy hand, and he is in for a rude awakening. And I've said before, I think we're going to get to Friday and we're going to learn that Harry isn't coming. My instinct just keeps telling me to contact him.
Okay.
Now, remember, all along, Charles has not been contacting his son. So Harry has literally put the ball back in his court and said, if you want me there, you contact me.
I think that's interesting. So you think
I just don't think we're
that he's going to drop out?
to see him.
You think he'll drop out?
Because I was listening to the radio today, and all the conversations were about what's he going to wear, if he's going to be allowed to wear a uniform. Like, why are we still doing this?
That's true. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It'll be very interesting if he doesn't show up. Personally, I think he will, but I mean, anything can happen at this point.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
He's not revealing anything because he's keep playing his cards close to his chest. If we do see him, it's literally going to be in and out.
Yeah.
But because of their inability to read the room, they still haven't sussed it out. They're still wondering, oh, well, we don't know where he's staying. We don't know when he's coming. We don't know when he's going. Why do you think he would? Yeah. Why do they think he would divulge that information? Yeah.
I think there was probably some. I would.
But yes, I'm going to watch it. Yeah. I'm going to watch it.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was some.
Because I think it doesn't matter what they do.
Is there a delay with the sound?
Quarter of a century on, and she's still over. Diana is still overshadowing them. It doesn't matter what they do. And I keep hearing people saying, "Oh, it should be Diana." No, I think she got a lucky escape when that divorce came through. It was a lucky escape. It's just unfortunate, and I will say this, that she was taken out. She had to be taken. That's just my feeling.
I mean, there was many reasons why people say that there was reason for the institution and the government to see Diana as dangerous. Sorry. Okay. Wait, hang on a sec. Sorry, I've had to remove Joe because I don't know if Joe can hear me or if you all can't hear me. Can everyone else hear me? Right. Okay. Maybe it's just her that can't hear me. Sorry, I just need to write a message to her in the chat. I have had to take you out. Problem with. Sorry, folks. Stuff like that happens. Okay. I think everyone down the line got to say what they wanted. So, I mean, I can add you all back as a group, and then you can chat amongst yourselves for a bit. And then we'll wrap things up. Valerie, Karen, Debbie, did any of you want to say anything?
Hi.
Or did you want to?
Yeah,
Hi, Karen.
I'm still here. Can you hear the others as well too? Because I'm working with this testing. I'm working with this testing with you. Okay.
Okay, no worries.
I know Joe was having a little bit of problems. Yeah, but I do agree with a lot of what she says. Yes, it is a mother figure that Charles was hanging on to Camilla for. She gave him that cushion. That's why he couldn't stand up to be a man to Diana, because that's what she was looking for. And I just think that he just found a way out, the easy way out of what his to hide his faults. The other thing is in regards to this whole charade at Buckingham Palace and this guy that's arrested. I just think it's a whole stunt for them to pass this new law that they wanted to pass and to avoid the protests that's going to be happening. They're trying not to get those things on their camera, on their whatever streaming and stuff they're doing for history. Um, she mentioned about Diana, having a lucky way out. Yeah, yeah, it was good for her, because this is the kind of stuff she would have had to endure throughout her life. But at the same time, you know, it, her passing, that should have never happened. And I agree with what she said. Um, they did take her out anyway, but it would have been nice for her to be here, and with her sons, as they are right now. um but this whole thing, it's just a mess. My thing of looking at it is to see Prince Harry, and I do think that he is going to be there. He is he shows himself to be a 200% man, and of great respect. And I think that is the reason that he's going to be there. Nothing else. Nothing else. He
Valerie,
just shows who he is. Yeah, touchy.
Valerie, what do you think of that? Do you think Harry, he's absolutely, definitely coming?
I do have to
Valerie?
agree with Sorry, I do believe I do believe he's coming. I have to agree with the other ladies, is that I think, and I was even looking at the year, it wasn't exactly 12 months, 12 months and 12, it was a year and 13 months after she died, because when Diana, she was 30, she was 36 on the 1st of
July.
July, and she died on the 31st of August. Now, when you're going back on the 31st of August is when you go back to school. Children go back to school. And she was in her stride. And have you noticed most women, when they become 30, 36, she was in her stride. So they had to stop her. And I never believed it was an accident. I always believed, I've even seen it. It was murder, and somebody was there waiting for them at that thing. But a policewoman told me how they did it is because there were some people in front of her, and they shone a light in front of the driver, so he lost control, and it was made to look like an accident. And what the problem is, you see, the thing is, and there is a saying, you can kill the body, but you can't kill the spirit. And that's what we're learning. We're learning it now. And also time is moving up now. So we're seeing things which have done 30 years ago. We're actually seeing judgment. Look at Murdoch. Look at that big lawsuit. And he's got a bigger lawsuit to come out with smart.
I think it's the same thing was in the cards for Meghan, if if Harry didn't take her out that country.
I mean, Harry pretty much said it himself, didn't he? Yeah. In the Me You can't see. Okay, yeah. I don't want us to get too morbid today, but I will agree with you, Valerie, in that I think people are now starting to question, more, especially with what we have seen the last 5 or 6 years with Meghan.
Exactly.
I think everyone has their own theories and, opinions on what may have or what may not have happened regarding Diana. But regardless, I don't think anyone can say, whatever you think, I don't think anyone can honestly say that there just wasn't something suspicious. At the very least, whatever theories you want to have or not have. Or rather, if not something suspicious, that there were definitely things that could have been done, if you were to believe that it was genuinely an accident, to have prevented what happened that night, especially in regards to her security. But regardless of whatever opinion you take about it, I do believe that Diana's passing would have been prevented, and even Harry himself said that, especially in regards to her security. But thank you so much, everyone, for helping me with the testing. I think we
Yeah.
have we've got it figured out now
Yeah.
for Saturday. And like I said, if anybody wants to just come along and have a chin wag and a chat, you can. I would pretty much be here for the whole coronation, and then we'll have a big chat in the
And
evening.
can I say one thing quickly? Can I say one thing just quickly? Just quickly. We were talking about them interjecting Harry and Meghan, you know, all through this whole coronation thing. Even now they're going on about if he's there, if he's coming, you know, what is he wearing and all that stuff. You know, I mean to say they're doing this because they need to keep this thing alive and keep it interesting. So every so often they keep, you know, interjecting Harry and Meghan inside of it, because that's, you know, basically what's keeping it alive. Harry's going there. Harry don't care, you know, what he wears. At this point in time, we all see Harry in his uniform. Harry is a serviceman, whether he has on his uniform or not. So he doesn't have to wear another uniform again. He has served his grandmother and served her well, and he doesn't have to serve anyone else. So it doesn't really matter what Harry is wearing, and he doesn't care what he's wearing. Okay, that is not what makes him. So they're just, you know, using all these, you know, talking points just to, you know, interject and keep things interested and keep themselves relevant. That's it.
Yeah, recycling the same old things. All right, thanks so much. Okay, Flame, you came in literally at the last minute. So I will let you speak, but just for 2-3 minutes, please, so we can wrap it up. And I will do call-ins on Friday, of course, and Saturday will pretty much be call-ins the whole day. So if you want to come and give your opinion, but Flame, I will give you 2 minutes. Go for it.
Thank you. Hello, squaddies. Hello, Annie. You look really good on your date. I didn't have a chance to tell you because I didn't see. But anyway,
thank you.
I just wanted to say that they had a thing on Twitter, a thread that they were showing about Tina Brown, the one that wrote those horrible books, and she was saying that the royals had to figure, because Harry and Meghan's docuseries did them damage, and also they thought the book did them damage, but something about Harry that they felt that took something away from it, so it wasn't as bad as the docuseries. So they say that Harry and Meghan, they realize, are global superstars. And so the royal family has to figure out how to make their shoe print global like Harry and Meghan's, because theirs is more local now. And so that's something that they're trying to figure out. She actually said that out loud, which I couldn't believe. And the fact that how are they going to have a global footprint? They don't do anything at all. They can't even remember to bring food to a food bank. They don't even understand how to do the performance art. They didn't bring clothes to the homeless, or, you know, or heaters, nothing. So it's just going to go from bad to worse. And I don't know what's going to happen during that coronation, because that is a disaster waiting to happen. But I'm going to have popcorn, and I'm going to come in and out, because I don't think I can stand a continuous stream of that. But I'm jumping in for the chats too. But hello, squaddies. I just wanted to say that I haven't talked to you and heard you in a long time. So
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, squaddies.
All right, that's it, folks. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you as always, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you to the mods. Thank you everyone who donated, and Church Nelly, I'm so glad that you are feeling a little bit better. Yeah, only a few more days to go, folks. Let's see what else comes of this. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao.
Baby girl, you're so fine, I can't get you off my mind. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Baby girl, don't need to flex. Dance to the rhythm and you do all the rest. Ooh girl, nah nah. Ooh girl, nah nah. Sign me up with dreams, it's the only thing I need. When I'm down, lift me up with your company. There's no telling what you and me creating. We're on the same wavelength. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my life vacation. When we are together, I surrender. Give you all my mind. messing up the time when I find myself guessing. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, we can lose all track of time. Come on, have a conversation. Don't treat me like a stranger. You give me motivation, make my